Okay, um, today I'm going to demonstrate how to paint a fairly realistic bubble. The surface I'm going to start with is this kind of crappy painting of a peppermint I did a little while ago. And so if I want to put a bubble on top of this, there's a couple of things that you have to keep in mind. First one is whether or not it's a soap bubble. Soap bubbles tend to have an iridescence to them because the way light refracts off of soapy surfaces gives you that rainbow effect, and that's what I'm going to attempt to do right now. So the first thing you want to do is draw the circles of where your bubbles are going to be. This is one of those situations where you want to kind of make sure that your circles are nice and round, and you can use a circle template. You see I messed up right there. Doesn't bother me at all. I'm gonna put another bubble right over here, and yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna do two. So first thing you have to know is that what makes a bubble look like a bubble is actually not the white part, it's the shadow. And to make the shadow for the bubble, and in this case I'm using like 4 colors, 5. Orange, like a pinkish red color, some magenta. It's a tempera paint, so it says magenta on the bottle. It doesn't say, you know, alizarin crimson. And then what's called turquoise, because this is tempera. It's not acrylic. And then black and white. So wherever the light is coming from, you have to determine, is it coming from this way, is it coming from this way? In this case, I'm going to pick the light coming at this kind of angle. And if the light is coming from here, unlike with spheres and this peppermint here, the shadow is not going to be opposite to the highlight. It's going to be next to the highlight. Ooh, Lord, that's way too dark. Okay. Just going to go with it. So you're going to define a shadow. And then whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the exact opposite side. And so you make these 2 little crescent shapes, and then you kind of join them to where it looks like a tornado maybe, or an explosion. You see, like, already we've gotten some of the character of the bubble there. And then if the light is coming from this way for this bubble, it also has to come from the same direction on this one, because it wouldn't make sense to have 2 light sources coming at this bubble. Now, I don't even know if it goes with the light source that's hitting this peppermint, but I don't really care that much. I should care, but I do what I want. So same thing, these little crescent shapes, connect them, this like little whirlpool. Notice I'm painting directly over what's underneath. So you're going to define that circle with the darks. Now, once that's done, then you get to the tricky part. And the tricky part is learning how to blend the colored part for the soap bubble effect into that dark shadow that you just made. And the first color that you need to do that with is purple. Normally it would be blue, but in this case it's going to be purple. So what you're going to do is you're not going to paint directly over that shadow at the darkest. You're going to paint on the edges like this. And if you paint on this side, you have to paint the same thing on this side. And then the same thing here. And I know that looks weird, but bear with me. Kind of smooth it out a little bit. Spread that color out. And then once you have that, then you can start putting in your white for the highlight part. Now this is not the exact best brush for this, but I'm still going to go with it. So for this part, you don't want it to be a sheer white, and in fact you can use a white mixed with a little bit of blue to give this effect too. Oh, that's way too bright. Okay. This brush is so raggedy. Look at it, it looks terrible. So terrible looking brush. Don't feel bad, brush. You're trying your best. What is happening here with this brush? Brush, I'm mad at you, yeah. You should be making a smooth transition, and instead you're ruining my life. Yeah, this is fairly ugly, but I'm gonna keep going because I learned to keep swimming because Ellen DeGeneres taught me to. Okay, I'm breaking up with that brush. Me and you are done, brush. This brush isn't that much better, but he's blending and fading more. There we go, much better. Brush will never work again. Okay, and then once you get to that point, take your white and make your highlights just like this. And there you go. And then at this point, if you want to make that soap bubble effect look even more dramatic, that's where you would put some vivid color directly on top. And the vivid colors you normally use for this are pink, orange, and green. In this case, I'm going to use, once again, too dark paint. You are not working with me today. A little bit of pink. What you do on one side, you have to do on the other. And a little bit of vivid blue. Get mixed paint. And then vivid green, but I don't have vivid green on my palette, so I'm gonna leave that off and then put some white back on that. This bubble is like, it looks like it's got a cyst. It's okay, man. It's not you. It's me doing a bad job. Okay, me and these brushes are not friends. I'm just using the end of the brush to get those highlights back because the bristles are so terrible and messed up. This is what happens when you use whatever you have on hand instead of actually getting up and going get the right tools for the job. Okay, there's your bubbles.